Okay, it jumped. Let me make sure everything's still good. Okay, it jumped. Let me make sure everything's still good. Okay, so it sounds like audio is okay. Alright, guys. It's your boy Malin coming at you with another Madden 24 rebuild. I said we were done with rebuilds, but this is a team that I was considering rebuilding, and I say, you know what? Let me try to get one more rebuild in me. Because after the San Antonio Express fired me, after we went basically in the negative in terms of the stadium, costs, whatever, finances were terrible. Final season, get to the NFC Championship game, can't get to the Super Bowl. They fire me as the owner. And, yeah, it actually caused the game to crash. For those of y'all that saw the last live stream, I might have suddenly just, disappeared. Well, that's because the game crashed because it was having a tough time, I guess, figuring out that I was a free agent. I didn't really know if you're a free agent in this franchise mode, whether you're a player, owner, or coach, you know, how that works. And I didn't really choose a team. I was, going through the off season, and I guess it just caused the game to crash, so I just said, you know what, forget it, no more of that. Time to start something new, fresh, and something new for Madden 24. And I really feel like that I'm in the twilight of really Madden 24 content because this time next month, and no, not exactly at this time next month, but a month and maybe 2 weeks from today, yeah, EA Sports College Football 25 is going to hit the store shelves. I'm going to be in the market for a new gaming console, PS5. Although, honestly, I think I will keep my PS4 around for a little while in case I want to have a throwback gameplay or something like that. But, of course, obviously, once I get a PS5, hopefully I figure out how to stream from that just the same as here. I hope it's similar. And obviously Madden 25, or whatever they're going to call Madden this year, because it was already Madden 25 in 2013 to celebrate the 25th year anniversary. So I don't know what they're going to call it, but the new Madden game I'll be playing on that one on a newer console. So I'm kind of excited about that as far as next season. But we're still on old gen, still rocking the PS4, still rocking with the Madden rebuilds. Last thing, of course, will probably be the Cowboys' updated roster playthrough. And I was thinking about starting that up, but I think I'm going to need something else to kind of tide me through that. So you know what? Why not get another rebuild in and rebuild the New Orleans Saints with Drew Brees taking over as the owner? And after the day that I had today, I'm actually on a 3-day weekend. I'm taking Wednesday off from work. But work wasn't done with me today. I had to go into work for 3 hours to edit videos because somebody called in. I don't want to get into it, but hey, this is a safe space, so I figured I might as well use it. It's not fun to get called in on your day off, and it's also really not fun when you're. And I already had a long week, and you're gonna put this on my head. Just it has me feeling the type of way. Thank goodness that I have the next 2 days off, because if I didn't, I'd be a mess. I probably wouldn't even be doing this right now. So anyway. Forget about that. Let's get into this. I've already done all the league settings that I need to do with this, so let's go ahead and start in the preseason, and let's take a look at our roster. I know in real life the New Orleans Saints don't have Michael Thomas anymore. I don't even know if he's on an NFL team right now because I know they released him or they let his contract run out and he's no longer a member of the New Orleans Saints. But I do know that this team does have some talent. And it may be a deal where the talent really isn't that far off, but we'll take a look at our roster. And in rebuilds that I've done in the past, it seems like that in the first year, in 2023, the Saints actually are usually not very good. Like, they have one of the top picks, and they maybe go with Quinn Ewers, Caleb Williams, somebody like that to resurrect the franchise, because you can see that Derek Carr, our starting quarterback, is only a 76 overall quarterback that they just traded for this season in real time, in this particular time frame. That doesn't make me feel good. He's a scheme fit guy, and with Dennis Allen as our head coach, and he is on a little bit of a short leash. If he doesn't do anything in the second season with the new roster or some new players, some new talent, then I think it may be time to move on from him. But let's take a look. Derek Carr, starting quarterback. We got a backup quarterback who's decent. Jameis Winston, 70 overall. 6'3 overall, Jake Haener of Fresno State. Don't really know too much about him. I just know that he went to the same college as Derek Carr, so maybe there's some familiarity there. But we do have Alvin Kamara, 86 overall, 6-year pro. Pretty good running back to have to start out with. I know he's not a 90s guy, a dominant guy like a Derrick Henry or that, but we had Najee Harris in the Pittsburgh Steelers rebuild, and it only took me 2 episodes to lead them to a Super Bowl championship. So, hey, we may be in okay shape. And we also still have Jamal Williams as our backup, who was the former Lion, who in real life I think the Saints let him go. But he's our backup for this season, 79 overall. So our running back room is pretty deep. We have Kendre Miller and we have Eno Benjamin as our 4th running back. We have Adam Pretense as our starting fullback, 62 overall. Not very good, but not the worst thing. Chris Olave is our top receiver, 86 overall. We have an 81 Michael Thomas, 79 Rashid Shaheed, 72 A.T. Perry, Lynn Bowen, and Keith Kirkwood, although it looks like Bowden is hurt. So receiving core could be a little bit better. I don't know what I'm going to do about Taysom Hill. You know, he's listed as a tight end, but he's not a tight end. And it may just be a deal where whenever his contract runs out, time to let him go. Because he's basically just nothing but a Swiss Army football player. That's what he is. Maybe I can consider doing something with him and maybe turning him into another quarterback, but I don't know about that. Because we have a 76 Juwan Johnson, who was actually a legitimate tight end, 76 overall, and he may be better than him. We have Foster Moreau. I remember him in Pittsburgh, or maybe Arizona. We have a 69 overall Jimmy Graham. I mean, Jimmy Graham is 12 years in the league. This may be his last year in the NFL. And a 69 overall tight end, if he's on a 1-year deal, not bringing him back at his age. And Zach Wood is our long snapper. Trevor Penning, 74. 74 James Hurst, 84 center. 76 Trey Turner at right guard. Ryan Ramczyk is our best offensive lineman. He's the only guy in the 90s that we have, I think, on our whole roster on offense, who's in the 90s. 87 Cameron Jordan, not that far off, but 12 years in the league. Don't know how much longer he's going to play. And none of these guys, Kapaskan and Phillips, these guys don't look like suitable replacements right now. We have Granderson, 80 overall, 72 Peyton Turner, 71 Isaiah Foskey. I remember usually signing him in one of my rebuilds. Breesy, defensive tackle. Nathan Shepard, 74. Defensive tackle could use some help. Left outside linebacker was Bond, 72. We have a 92 Demario Davis, but I think he's going to retire after this season unless we have maybe a good season, but I don't know. He's getting up there in age, and usually after the first year in the rebuilds, I see him retire from the Saints. Werner, 76, right outside linebacker. Linebacking core, it's outside of Demario Davis could use some work, and if Davis retires, then that's a whole new middle linebacker we have to get. But we have another 90 overall club member, and that is Marshawn Lattimore, 91 overall, although it looks like he's hurt right now. We also have Adebu, 82 overall, Yadam, 76, Taylor, 74, so we could use some help at the defensive backfield. Paulson I like. Lattimore, we could get some more help for him. We do have the Honey Badger, 91 overall, Matthew. 10 years, I don't know how much longer he'll play. Lonnie Johnson is backing him up. And Marcus May, strong safety, 82 overall. Not bad for our strong safety. And also still have Jonathan Abram and Howen. Groupie, okay, is our kicker. He's got no face. 24 years old, a rookie kicker. And we got a rookie punter as well, Lou Headley. So, honestly, this is the first time I've actually done a rebuild where I look at special teams and think that actually needs a major rehaul. Maybe outside of the long snapper, but still, a 70 and a 65 kicker and punter, that's not looking too hot. So I want to look at the injury report because it looks like that we have some guys already hurt. So were they hurt for the preseason? Yeah, well, these guys are only hurt for 1 week. Okay. So none of these guys will play in the first preseason game anyway, but I don't want them to play. Mostly because it's preseason, so that doesn't really matter very much. And our first preseason game, we are playing at home against the Kansas City Chiefs and Mahomes. So we're going to go ahead and simulate through this game. We'll get to cut down days. We'll get the roster ready for year one. And we'll see if maybe there's any trades that anybody wants to offer us. Although we don't really have backup players that are highly rated. So I don't think we're going to be getting any trade offers for any players. We did lose our first preseason game to the Chiefs, 27-24. We got the Chargers this week, and to wrap it up, it's the Texans. I think actually I recall that preseason game was actually a nationally televised one on Fox because I was off of work during my break for a little bit back when I still had to work the night shift because of a person being out. And I remember I watched like the first half of that game, and Jameis Winston started that game, and it was kind of funny, seeing him starting an NFL game again, even though it was preseason, because it's like, what is Jameis Winston good for except for laughs? That man could just look like this and be like, it's like, yeah. So we got the funniest backup quarterback in the league. That's interesting. Well, we've lost our first 2 preseason games, but we're scoring a lot of points. So, I mean, even our backups must be getting some good points in there. Winston must be actually doing okay in the preseason, but still losing. We've lost our first 2 games, and we win to close out the preseason, so we do get a win against the Texans, so that's good. But we have a new injury. Who's hurt? Who's hurt? Well, Marcus May is out for 5 weeks with a broken wrist. That's not a good way to open up the season. We don't really have anybody too solid behind him. We'll get through these cut days, and then I'll look at free agency to see who's left, strong safety, who can kind of fill the void a little bit. Let's take a look at Dennis Allen's coaching tree here. I know that he was with the Saints as a assistant coach, I think not too long ago, before he got this job. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this. It leaves us 4 points. So Allen obviously could use, upgrades at, different things on his tree, and so can probably the rest of the coaching staff. So that may be the deal with the Saints. The coaching staff is not very strong. Our roster is okay, but with the 76 overall quarterback, as far as rated, even for a guy like Derek Carr, who the Saints traded for, may or may not be the solution. I don't know, but we'll get to that, in the offseason, and we'll see. I still want to roll with Derek Carr, as long as I can, just because I don't know how good of a pick we're going to get. I just don't know. And it's hard to just pass up a 76 overall guy, even though he is, not super highly rated, things like that. All right, well, we got to do some cuts. And can we cut, Benjamin? All right, well, no penalties. So you know what, Benjamin, we're going to go ahead and let you go. Receivers, we got a bunch of receivers. Kirkwood, we're going to let you walk. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 5 receivers, so I'm going to keep. I want to try to keep 5 receivers. Now, tight ends, we have too many of these. Can we cut Jimmy Graham? He'll incur a penalty. Okay, so we can't. But that will incur a penalty, so I don't want to cut Taysom Hill. What about lineman? We only have 1 center. Saldirvi, let's put him on practice. We got right tackles. Landon Young at 59 overall, I think he... No, okay, so we'll just put him on practice squad because that will incur a penalty if we try to cut him. All right. Kyle Phillips, let's go ahead and cut you. Right end. Foskey has like a hidden development trait, so I don't think I want to just give up on him just yet. Defensive tackles, though, yeah. Mustafer, we're getting rid of you. Saunders, no, that'll be a penalty, so I don't want to do that. We don't have a lot of depth at linebackers, so I'm thinking it might be good to keep some of these intact. What about Dole? Can we cut him? Yeah, we can cut him and have no penalties. Let's see about corners. John Charles. Let's go ahead and cut him. I don't even want to bother with practice squad for somebody like that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you got 5 corners, so I think I want to keep that. I probably should have kept 6, but yeah. So we can't do anything with our with that. So let's go back to the defensive lineman. Saunders, that'll incur a penalty. Okay. What about Roach? All right, let's just cut him because we'll have a penalty if we were to cut the other guy. All right, I'm gonna take a risk and put Foskey on practice squad. Somebody will probably pick him up, but hey, I know, gotta do what you gotta do. All right, so let's advance to the next week, and let's go ahead and get the draft class in here for 2024, and just get ready for the regular season. So let's see. Practice squad players did get signed. Nick got signed, and so did Isaiah Foskey. Not surprised. All right. Import local file. Let's see. Draft class. 2024 NFL Draft. This should be correct. Yep, there's everybody. Caleb, Drake May. Yeah. Marvin Harrison Jr. could be an option for us. Maybe get another stud wide receiver to go and make this receiving core a really big three-headed monster that any quarterback can have success with. But I don't know. All right. Well, as we always do, we got no trade offers or anything like that. Oh, you know what? Almost forgot. Let's take care of getting a strong safety to fill the void for the first few weeks of the regular season while we have our starter out. So let's go ahead and get the best guy on the market if we can. Don't do that. Kareem Jackson. I know you're old, but we need some help. So let's go ahead and sign him to a one-year deal. He's actually 81 overall, so he's actually better. Well, no, he's not. He's 1 point overall worse than our starter. But having him fill the void for the first few weeks, for the first 5 weeks, actually could be pretty good. Unfortunately, because of this, we do have to cut a player. Let's start just with the offense, as far as maybe what they think. Let's see here. Suggestions. That really doesn't help sometimes. Let's see about receivers. We may just have to bite the bullet and do it, but I don't know. What about tight ends? We have a lot of tight ends. Can we cut Foster? No, that'll be a penalty. Don't want to cut our long snapper. No, defensive ends, we don't really have any depth here. What about linebackers? Anybody expendable? There's a few. Let's put Sewell on practice. Maybe a risk, but got to do it. And we got Kareem Jackson to fill the void here for a little bit. Let's see what his jersey number is looking like. I mean, he probably is going to retire after this year because, he's 12 years in the league and he's getting up there in age. So yeah. So he is 1 point lower than Marcus May, but Kareem is 81 overall, which isn't too bad. And also, we're just asking him to be a stopgap guy anyway, so I don't think that's really too much of a crazy scenario. Let's see if we can give him a number like in the 20s or something. Let's give him number 26. I know that's an awkward number for Kareem Jackson to wear because I think he's always worn 22 in his career. So, yeah. So until Marcus May comes back, Kareem Jackson is going to be our starting strong safety for this season, for the first part of the regular season. When May comes back, he is going to get his job back. But Kareem is going to just fill the void for a little bit. I mean, I wish I had kind of put him on practice squad, but I don't think he's eligible for that. So we'll just keep him on as the backup just in case after, May comes back. He's going to get his job back. So let's simulate to the middle of the season and see where we're at. Don't expect too much from us in year one. I just mainly want to see how Derek Carr runs this offense. I really just kind of want to see, is it a deal where it can run through Carr and the receivers that we have, or do we have to rely on a ground game with Alvin Kamara? Because I feel like that name-wise, this offense is solid, but is it going to be enough to produce legitimate wins? And that's the thing that I kind of think about with this team, especially with a 76 overall quarterback. Because in the sim way of Madden, if your quarterback is not an 80s guy at least, your sim numbers are not going to be that great, but unless you have 80 consistent, 90 overall guys around him, and I know our offensive line is not very good. Our best guy is Ramczyk. He's the only guy in the 90s. We have a center in the 80s, but a center being in the 80s I don't think really impacts your line very much. So we'll see. Much from us in year one because we're just trying to kind of feel our oats a little bit with this team and see what we can do. Unlike the Saints did in real life, I'm planning on keeping Michael Thomas on this team, mostly because I wouldn't want to let our second best receiver on the team besides Chris Olave go for nothing. Just let him go. I don't think that would be best interest of me or the team. So, and who knows? Maybe this team isn't too far off. Oh my goodness, we're 0-7. Okay, I had a feeling we would be maybe not very good, but not this bad. We're 0-7? Jeez. I got to take a look at stats here. Guys. What is going on? So Derek Carr, at the midpoint of the season, has only thrown 12 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. So it must just be the ground game that we're relying on. Jamal Williams is our leading rusher. Kamara only has 167 yards. We only have 2 rushing touchdowns from Kamara. Chris Olave only has 405 yards. The distribution is kind of decent across the board, but jeez, we're bad. We're bad. Carr's not that bad, but it's like, jeez, wow. Wow, I did not expect us to be this bad in year 1. Let's take a look at our schedule. How bad are we losing these games? Are we close, or are we just not even good? So we lost by 17 to the Titans. We lost to the Panthers by 5. Packers by 3. Bucks only by 1. Patriots kicked us pretty good. 21. 2 touchdowns against the Texans. And lost by 3 to the Jaguars. So with the exception of the Texans, Patriots, and I guess the Titans game, these games are not that far off. Man, we're just struggling to get our first win. Wow, we just may be fighting for like maybe 2 wins at this point. Wow. Well, we got to get to the negotiating screen and see whose contracts are up. This rebuild may be a little bit longer than I thought, but well, it would be right to not have a challenge. Let's check out who players are ready to negotiate contracts. Wow, we have no cap. We have no cap room. We're minus $42 million. How are we oh my gosh. It's terrible. This is like the Seattle Seahawks thing. Like, I'm going to have to just, like, let everybody walk. Although some of these guys are not really that great. I mean, so I'm not, super upset about this. Who's the highest rated? Well, Shaheed is... Trey Turner's our starting right guard. We can probably do better. We got to save some cap room, so we got to let everybody go. Yeah, we can't bring back anybody. Not at minus $42 million in cap. That's not going to cut it. Wow. So we're 0-7. We have minus $42 million in cap room to play with. We're probably not going to have any free agency whatsoever. We're just going to have to draft in the first year, which based on our record may not be the worst thing, because starting out 0-7, we're thinking maybe top number 1 pick. But we'll see. Playing the Colts this week, they're 6-1, we're 0-7. I don't think this will be a win, but I'd be shocked if it is. Wow. It also could be our defense is getting torched. I don't really know what our stats look like. I'll look at the end of the season and really see what the situation is. Hey, we get our first win. Oh my gosh, and we blew the Colts out to get it too. Wow, we won 28-3 against a 6-1 team. Jeez, okay. That's probably an outlier, to be honest. You're under 500 right now. There's going to be change. I mean, we're 1-7 right now, Coachman, so I'm not expecting too much. I just want us to get a few wins under our belt and end the season strong if we can. That's going to be tough to muster, but I don't know. So I'm pretty sure. So are we still at minus $42 million? Yeah, we are. Okay, well, at that, we're just not going to be able to bring back anybody. We're going to let every single player walk. That's what we have to do. Let me actually take a look and see what the situation is with our salaries. Because I got to take a look at this. I had no idea that this was this bad. Okay, so I mean, I guess we do have some room, but so who? So well, Demario Davis is actually the highest paid guy, but he's more than likely going to retire. And Matthew is getting older too. Although I'd like to keep the Honey Badger for at least 1 or 2 more years. Olave is one of the top paid guys. Ramczyk, but hey, our best offensive linemen sometimes are the backbone of the offense. I don't mind him being our highest paid offensive player. Olave, Jordan, who knows? Cameron Jordan may retire in a couple of years. Ooh, okay. Well, if Demario Davis does retire, we'll get that money back. Matthew is still under contract until 2025. Well, yeah, I think his contract runs through 2025, so that'll be some relief. Whose contracts are up that are high-paid guys? Kareem Jackson, but we brought him on as a backup, so not too worried about that. They'll save us some money. I mean, we're not bringing back Kareem Jackson. You know, Jackson was brought in to be the strong starting safety for a little bit, but May being back in the fold, that's our starter now. Well, Chicago's 4-4. We're 1-7. Let's see if we can get our first winnings. We got our first win last week. Let's see if we can get our first winning streak of the season. And we do. We win by 3 against the 4-4 Bears, but we got another new injury. So we've won back-to-back games. Picked up our first win, built some momentum, got the second win. But unfortunately, Alvin Kamara is out for 4 weeks with a knee cartilage tear. But Jamal Williams has been doing okay as far as our ground game, even though we don't really have much of a running game. So I'm kind of just tempted to let Kamara just sit out and not really worry about finding a replacement for our second running back. So I'm going to let Kamara sit on the shelf for 4 weeks while he gets that injury healed and, let him come back. Well, the Vikings are 3-6, so they're not that much better wise. So maybe we can get another win. Is this the chance to get our 3rd win in a row? 3 wins? Can we get a 3-game winning streak going, anybody? And we can. So going into the bye week, we beat the Vikings pretty soundly. Wow, okay, so we had a big blowout win against the Colts, and we beat the Vikings pretty handily. So, yeah, but unfortunately the injuries keep piling up. Who's hurt now? I know Kamara's out. And Chris Olave is out for 5 weeks with a partial PCL tear. So our best running back and our best receiver are out. This is fun for the first year. Well, we have Michael Thomas still, so I'm not worried about bringing another receiver to help out with the distribution. And plus, from the looks of it, it looks like our offense did okay last week without Kamara in the lineup. So I guess, being down a receiver, he must have gotten hurt at some point during the game, but it looks like we were still rolling. So going into the bye week, we're going to the bye week on a high note. Let me see if I can actually attempt to even do any kind of negotiations. Let me just try something with Trey Turner. We don't have the salary cap to make this offer restructure. Okay, all right. So we can't make any offers. That's that. All right, I tried just to see if that was, holding true, but it's in the negative. It's in the negative, so can't do anything about it. All right, let's go to manage staff because we got 14 skill points to spend right now. I think I really just want to focus on getting Dennis Allen's tree built up for right now because I still want to keep him for probably at least next year. But if we keep struggling to win, even though we've won 3 games in a row, and we're still looking to turn the season around and end with some momentum. Still, this is an ugly way. It was an ugly way to start the year at 0-7. I would fire Dennis Allen after that 0-7 start, but unfortunately, I found out that if you fire a coach in the middle of the season, you can't promote somebody on your staff to an interim position. You have to hire a coach in the middle of the season, and to me, that just doesn't sit right. Bringing in a random coach to coach after he had been fired it doesn't feel right. All right. So we got another divisional opponent. We're at the bottom of the NFC South, no doubt about it. The Bucs are the best team in the division, and the Panthers are 6-4. So the Bucks are the best team. The Falcons are actually, talent-wise, not that far off, because in the recent rebuilds that I've done, they're in the Super Bowl sometimes within the first couple of years, after the first year. So wouldn't be surprised if they get good quickly, and we pick up our first loss in 4 weeks. And we have another new injury. The injury bug has bitten us bad. So Werner is out for 1 week with a hip pointer, but Kamara's only going to miss 1 more week, then he's back. Brian Brees is out for 6 weeks with a broken collarbone. I don't think he's our starting defensive tackle, but he's the second string guy. And we're still going to have Olave out for 3 weeks. But we're getting Kamara back after this game, so hopefully that'll help the offense. How much did we even lose by to the Falcons? Oh, we lost by 13. All right, well, that's not a bad margin, but it's a pretty decent margin of loss in terms of, like, you know, not very great. All right, we got the Detroit Lions this week at home, and they are 5-6, so they're having a little bit of a tougher season than I would expect. Maybe we can get an upset win at home in the Superdome, but I don't know. After this, we got the Panthers, we got the Giants. I assume both those teams are better than us, so this will be tough. And we lost again. We lost by 19 points, and we have another new injury. We've been injured like every week. A new player goes down. Monty Rice, right outside linebacker, after 3 weeks with a ruptured disc. Okay, I don't even know if he's third or second string, but I don't think he's that bad. Not good. I don't think it's that crucial. Olave's only going to miss 2 more weeks. Brees is going to be out for 5 with a broken collarbone. So, all right. But we're going to get some of our players back to end the season. We're 3-9 right now. No chance of the playoffs. Not one single bit. And we got the Panthers this week, who are second in the NFC South. They're 7-5. And I don't know who our last game of the regular season is against. I assume it's a divisional opponent. It's probably the Falcons, because we've played, or maybe it's the Panthers. I don't even know. We do play the Bucks in a couple of weeks from now. They're our last divisional opponent. Yeah. Rough year for the first year in New Orleans. Bottom of the division, too. No way to climb out of the basement unless a miracle happens, but I don't expect that. I don't expect us to even finish third in our division this year for the first year. And we lost again, although we only lost by 3 points. We scored 42 points. So I want to take a look at our statistics now and kind of see where things are at with the offense and maybe the defense as well. So let me actually go to team stats, and I want to see where we're at. So offense, total offense. Where are we in total offense? Wow, we're bottom dwellers. So we basically have, what, the 3rd worst offense in the NFL? We only have, well 3,300 passing yards is not that bad. We have 28, let's see, let's sort this column out by, so it's sorted by yards right now. Points per game. So points per game were not that bad, because these are the lower teams. Passing touchdowns. So we're not super bad. I think defensively is where we're struggling at. Yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're in almost the bottom tier of defenses. Let me take a look at player stats. I want to see where Derek Carr's been looking like this season. Okay, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 3,300 passing yards. What about rushing? So Jamal Williams has actually been the leading ground gainer for us this year. Kamara only has 395 yards. He has 4 TDs. And Miller has 4 TDs as well. Receiving-wise, Michael Thomas, then again, Olave's been hurt. So Michael Thomas has basically been the new leader. And our tight end, Juwan Johnson, is the second leading receiver. Olave is the third leading receiver, despite the fact that he's been hurt for the last few weeks. But Thomas is our leading receiver. Who leads us in touchdown catches? It's Thomas. He's got 6 of them. Defensively, I mean, you know, we have somebody that's 4 interceptions. So Marshawn Lattimore is not doing too bad. He has 4 interceptions for the season. What about sacks? Anybody sacking out here? Where's the sacks? Let's see what sack. Okay, there it is. One sack. Okay, so Nathan Shepard, defensive tackle, has the most sacks, 6.5. 5.5 for Carl Granderson. So our defensive linemen are doing okay. Cameron Jordan has 4.5. So defensive linemen are kind of getting to the quarterback, but still at this point only having like 6 sacks for one guy for the last few weeks of the season heading into it. It's not that great. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and upgrade and get ready for our next game against the Giants. I don't know what their record is. I don't know if they're good this year. Well, I just saw their... Looks like they're 5-8. Yeah, they're 5-8. Okay, they're 5-8. We're playing. We're 3-10. So yeah. Let me check out. Do we have anybody coming back from injury now? Is Kamara back, or is he still out? Okay, so Olave's still out for one more week. Then we get him back. Rice is going to miss the next 2 weeks, and Brees is going to miss the next 4 weeks. Okay, so Olave's going to come back after this Giants game, which may help the offense for the last few weeks of the season. And our last game of the regular season is against the Falcons. And they're currently 7-6. So we can play spoilers in that game in terms of knocking them out of any chance of making the playoffs. Let me take a look at the playoff picture right now and see what teams from our division other than the Panthers. Okay, so the Bucs are actually... So the Bucs are leading the division, and they're in the 3 spot. The Panthers would make the playoffs as a wild card team. So if we can get some wins, they can get some losses. We can play spoiler at the end of the year and knock them out, and definitely knock out the Falcons with any chance. Because right now the Falcons are 1 game back from the Panthers, which means they could essentially be 1 game out of the wild card spot. So I don't know. If we get a couple of wins and we play at the Falcons at the end of the year, I mean, I want to win that game anyway, just for pride and to, win a game with the team that I'm trying to rebuild. So, we'll see. But first things first, we got the Giants, then we got the Rams, then we got the Bucs, and the Falcons to end the year. So the end of our schedule is not very favorable because even this Giants team is pretty good. But we get a win. We get a win at home. And we're 4-10. So we get our 4th win of the season. The Falcons lost, so they're 7-7. Panthers probably have firmly established themselves as the 2nd team in the NFC South that'll make the playoffs as a wild card team. Meanwhile, we're just trying to play out the stretch and not finish in the basement. But it looks like that's where we're going to be to end the year. We're going to start in the cellar. We're going to work our way up. Hopefully, we can get out of the salary cap hell that we're in at minus $42 million after this offseason, and we can actually start to improve this team and just get better. But in Seattle, we were stuck in neutral for a long time. It may just be a deal where I draft a top-flight quarterback, maybe like a Caleb Williams, Drake May, or even a Quinn Ewers, keep Derek Carr as insurance, and just have them duke it out. Maybe just officially open up a little bit of a quarterback controversy, just bring in a hot shot young quarterback who's got nothing but the ceiling to continue to go up. I think Derek Carr has hit his, and I don't see him being better than what he is right now at being a guy in the 70s. Because I feel like that certain players at this point, when you start a rebuild, they don't really progress very much. Younger players tend to progress quicker. Veterans don't. So you really have to just kind of go with that younger quarterback and hope that eventually he's going to go from like a 77 if he was a first-round pick. Then he gets to be in an 80 in the 2nd year. Then maybe by the 3rd year, he's in the high 80s, and he's good enough to get wins for you in the sim. He's good enough to throw touchdowns. He's good enough to lead you to wins. So that's kind of what we're hoping for. So I still think we're going to look at a quarterback in the 1st round, even though we do have Derek Carr. But we got to look at every option right now because at 4-10, and with the talent that we have assembled on offense at the running back spot and receiver spot, this team is good enough to do something and be a playoff team. But I feel like we're just maybe one real legitimate quarterback away from doing that, and maybe some offensive linemen. But then again, with our salary cap hell, I don't know how much better we can get this offseason in free agency. We may have to be bottom dwellers for the first couple of years as we continue to let the money trickle down a little bit. So hopefully that's the case, but we will see. Okay, all right, so let's get back to football. Playing the Rams this week, they're 5-9, we're 4-10, so they're not that much better than us. They're only better than us by 1 game. So let's see if we can get a win and get some momentum at the end of the year. Another 2-game winning streak. Yeah, we get a 8-point win. So we're 5-10 going up against the Bucks. We got 2 divisional games left to end our season. We've got everybody back. Olave's back, and so is Kamara. So maybe we can actually get some wins at the end of the year, get a little bit of momentum going, just feel a little bit better about ourselves. But I don't know. We'll see. Because these 2 games are pretty tough coming up. They're divisional opponents that are better than us on paper. We only lost by 7 to the Bucks. Is what it is. We'll get better, hopefully. I just don't want to be stuck in neutral like I was with the Seahawks rebuild, because I couldn't make the playoffs after the second year of that rebuild. I just couldn't do it. I traded for new quarterbacks, I traded for a veteran, I traded for rookies. Nothing worked. So hopefully something here works. Let's take a look at the playoff picture as we go into the final week of the regular season. We're playing Atlanta. So Atlanta would actually be in the playoffs as a wild card team, as the final wild card seed. So right now there's 3 teams from our division in here. Panthers leading the division, Bucks second, Falcons third. We beat the Falcons, we probably knocked them out of the playoffs. Let's be like the 2003 Arizona Cardinals, the way they were to the Vikings in 2003. We're playing at home in the Superdome. We're going to have the crowd behind us. We have everybody back. Let's go out there and let's go get this final game. Let's go win it. Let me check our uniforms here. I want to see what uniforms we already have on. Do we have the gold pants on, or do we have the black pants? Can't tell what uniforms we're wearing. What's going on? All right, let me exit out of it and go back into it, because it's not loading the uniforms for some reason. I don't know why. But this game on old gen is buggy sometimes. Alright, let's go. Let's try this again. Let's load it up again. I just want to take a look at the uniforms to see if maybe I want to do like Color Rush or something special. Just in case, you know? Okay, so let's see. Away. Current Color Rush. What do these look like? Oh, these are the current alternate classic. Those look... Ugh. Current home option. Let's go current home. Go with the regular uniforms. Go with the gold pants. Let's get it. Alright. Let's get that roar going in the dome. I think we're like 6-10 right now. So I think if we win this one, we'll get our 7th win and finish 7-10, which would not be terrible, but it would be better than what I thought, especially after starting 0-7. That was bad. But that would probably put us in the hole. You know, we started out 0-7. You can't start out a season like that and climb out of it in time. And we just couldn't. But, you know, we had a lot of injuries this year to some of our good players on offense. And we're a team in transition with trying to figure out, is Derek Carr really the answer at quarterback? And right now, based on this season with his first full year as a starter, I don't know. There's questions about that. We will be looking at a quarterback in this year's draft. No question about it. The game freeze, oh my god, I thought it froze for a second. That was weird. Dennis Allen's face like morphed.
It's week 18 of the NFL.
So here we go. Playing against the Falcons. We got a chance to actually knock these guys out of the playoffs. So if we get this win, play spoiler here. That sounds like a win-win.
We drop you in here on the first drive of this game.
First of all, we gotta go get this. And Derek Carr, you gotta play some good football today, sir.
On 1st and 10,
Thomas. And Thomas makes the catch after he got smacked. But he's got a first down.
Get this one across the 30-yard line. Line of scrimmage.
All right, let's go with a stretch play with
1st and 10. The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara.
Come on, Kamara. Get to the outside. First down. There we go.
Just short of the 45 at the
first time carrying the ball. First time getting the first down.
Saints first down on the pickup of 13.
You got a good running back in this game. You can do things. You can go places. You can go to Super Bowls. We'll get there. Hopefully, one of these days. Got to scramble. Carr. Scramble, Carr. Get out of bounds. Avoid the hit. There you go. 6-yard pickup. Carr's got a little bit of mobility. I don't think he's got as much mobility as he did back in his Raider days, but he can improvise a little bit. halfback dive here. Kamara.
Up the middle with Kamara.
Spin move. Get off the man. Okay, all right.
At the 48
2 yards.
For a pickup of 2 yards.
2 yards away from the first.
A tough season for them to this point, and here's part of the reason why. You see
James
the
Hurst
injuries
out
have
for the
left them
game.
short-handed in
Left
prior
guard's out.
weeks, and that's the case again here in this one.
Brandon, great teams can overcome injuries and keep their seasons on track, but sometimes even the great teams have injuries
All
that
right,
are just
Taysom
too
Hill makes the catch, Swiss Army knife, tight end, and he's loose. Touchdown, Taysom Hill. Let's go. Swiss Army knife, line him up at the tight end spot. We're on the board first in New Orleans. Touchdown. Beautiful. All right, come on, defense.
This defense backed up now.
First and goal here.
First and goal, just inside the 10.
Here's Ritter.
Here's Ritter.
Ooh, we almost got the sack, but it's incomplete. Nice job. Good job, Dean.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal.
Come on, guys. 2nd and goal.
Ritter will set up the throw.
Get him. Oh, we get the sack. Let's go.
Back at the 15-yard line.
Saunders. Way to get in there.
Busting through to get him for a loss
Defense
of
showing
6.
up today. That's good.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Almost got through that man.
The
A good tackle right there. Nice job.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They'll get only a
Forced the
yard
field
out
goal,
of that, and it'll
then but
bring
didn't
up
break.
4th
Nice
down.
job.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, Falcon football, as they've got it with a 4th down coming up.
All right, well, they get the field goal to start the second quarter.
And they are on the board, but still trailing.
Not exactly what I was hoping
7-3.
for on there. But, you know, decent job by the defense. We just got to keep momentum going here. All right.
We have a
All right,
developing
we got a first and goal here. We got a
situation
chance to do
following the
something. Let's take
interception.
advantage while we're down
Golden
here in the
chance
red
for points
zone.
as the offense is back out there with a 1st and goal to go.
Play broke
Buying
down.
time to his left.
Just run, Carr. It's wide open. Touchdown, Derek Carr running it for himself. Let's go. Perfect. Ain't nothing wrong with scrambling when the play breaks down, Coach. It's all right. The Falcons did get another field goal, so it's back to an 8-point game. We're about to kick a field goal here, but this is a long one. I don't know about this rookie kicker's accuracy, but can he make it?
And this one is right.
It's good. Wow.
And that will extend their lead here to 17-6.
Rookie kicker knocks it through. We're up 11. Not bad at all. Falcons did score. We can go 2 minutes here. We got 1:29 left.
Research packet this week prepping for the game. So many articles from the local beat
Olave,
writer.
come on, I need you to make a play. Make a play, Olave. There you go. Make a play. Oh, put him on ice skates. Get out of bounds. There we go. DB took a horrible angle. Take advantage of it. And if the announcers knew anything better, they would say, and the Falcons' playoff hopes are in serious jeopardy right now. Yes, they are. Thompson, tight end, first down. Let's keep it up. Keep it going.
And they'll work it inside the 15-yard
Go with
line
it quick.
before it's all said and
Slants.
done. Into the red zone, it's Carr. Flush to his right.
X.
And
Ah.
caught on the right
Didn't hit him in
sideline, but
time.
out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too
All right,
far.
things
It's
like that
second
happen.
down.
Let's go with Carr.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings
Second
him
and
up
10.
2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Thomas has got it, complete.
All right, I'm going to call a timeout right now.
He'll get only 3
Down to
there,
less
so
than a
it leaves him
minute.
with a
I want to
3rd
get
and
points
7
even if it's a
ahead.
field goal
The
here.
Saints going to call
Keep the
the
pressure
first
on
of their
Atlanta.
timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
Come on, guys.
Now Carr again.
Out, there we go. Olave first down.
Taken down, but he
Perfect.
does
Let's go a little
have
bit
first
quickly
down
here.
yardage.
Do a halfback draw. They won't expect that. Kamara into the end zone. Touchdown. Alvin Kamara. Perfect. Perfect 2-minute drill run by Derek Carr. And we scored again in the third quarter. Wow, but here come the Falcons again. They're only down by 11. But we got a 3rd and 6.
In the third quarter, and this defense hoping to turn that 3rd down into 4th.
You know what? Let's change this play. Go play action.
They fake the handoff. Now Carr.
Make that play.
And it's going to be incomplete.
Ah,
He was able
Olave
to
was
catch it
out.
there on the right sideline, but out
Didn't
of
lead him
bounds.
right. 4th and 6. You know what? This is it for us. We're going for it. 3rd quarter, 2 minutes to go. We're going to extend this drive and go for it.
They'll go for it. It's Carr.
Oh, man. Are you... Go!
And he's not able to get away.
He had to come back to the football, didn't he? Wow, that was maybe not the best thing I could have done. And Atlanta did get a touchdown eventually. I don't think they scored right after that drive. But now we're in the 4th quarter. We're still up 5. That gamble failed. But when you're not going to the playoffs, you just do whatever you want. Michael Thomas, ooh, juked inside and ran it into the end zone for 6. Let's go. Derek Carr and this offense are doing well in the final game. I like to see that. This offense is capable of having big games, and we've scored a lot of points in some games. We just haven't been able to get those breaks to win. You know, it's 3rd down and 3. We're going to go with a little something extra here. You know what? No, I don't like that. Let's go with 4s. Let's go with whatever this is. Let's go with this. I want you inside.
Gonna try and throw on 3rd down.
Come on, make that. Oh!
And that's going to be incomplete.
TV got there. It's okay, though. We'll go for the field goal. We'll extend the lead.
So Carr
already up
departs
12.
in on his Blake
Let's make
groupie
it
for the
15.
Saints field goal. He connected on his first. This time it's 39 yards away.
He makes it.
And his kick
He may be
here
sticking
is
around. I don't
good.
think we've got our kicker.
Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game.
These upgrades in multiple places, but salary cap hell, got to limit that. And we get a win. 41-26 is the final score. We beat the Atlanta Falcons. And we've knocked them out of the playoffs. No way, no scenario they make the playoffs at all. Derek Carr, I think, had like 4 touchdowns in this game. Kamara had a rushing touchdown. Thomas, Olave. The offense really did well. Our tight ends, Johnson and Taysom Hill, even lining up at tight end for that one play, did pretty well. 375 passing yards. We only had 83 rushing yards. Our running game really hasn't been too spectacular this year, but we still produced a lot of points in our season finale. Great, good way to end the season on a high note. Obviously, I wish there'd be playoffs, but Derek Carr had a pretty good game out there. Didn't make any mistakes when I was controlling him. Accuracy was pretty good. I might be able to do something with Carr if I don't see a quarterback at the pick that we have. So, good way to end the first year with a win. 41-26. Pretty solid, convincing win, too. And we knocked the Falcons out of the playoffs. So, because of that, I wonder who we put in the playoffs. So, let's go ahead and check out the playoff bracket. Let's see who's in the playoffs. We knocked the Falcons out of there. The Bucs actually got knocked down to the 7th seed because somebody else must have won, and the Lions are up in the 6th seed now. Although when we played them, they were like 5-8 or something like that, or 5-6. So they rallied at the end of the year. But then again, it's Dan Campbell. All right, 49ers have the number 1 seed. Cowboys are number 2. Bucs 7. Packers 3. Lions 6. Panthers 4. Eagles 5th. AFC, Chiefs number 1 seed. Bengals 2. Raiders 7. Bills, Patriots, Texans, Steelers. That's the playoffs for year 1 of this rebuild. And now we get to see what happens. Let's check out weekly awards. I guess we had a weekly award winner. And Derek Carr won NFC Offensive Player of the Week. 18-29, 357 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. He was sacked twice, and he had 1 rushing touchdown. Not a bad way to end the regular season for Mr. Derek Carr. All right. So let's go ahead and advance to the divisional round, and we'll see who is playing. Let's see who survived. Let's check it out. So, the Bengals beat the Raiders. The Patriots upset the Bills on the road, okay? And the Texans beat the Steelers. So it's Bengals, Texans, Chiefs, Patriots. And in the NFC side, Cowboys beat the Bucs pretty convincingly, just like the previous year. And the Lions upset the Packers in Lambeau. And the Panthers beat the Eagles once again, just like they did in 2003 for the NFC East crown. So it's Cowboys, Panthers, Niners, Lions. So similar to the NFC Championship that happened in real life this past season. Very interesting. All right. Advance to next week. Let's see who's going to the conference championship games. All right. So the Chiefs beat the Patriots decently well, and the Bengals blew by the Texans. 49ers, they beat the Lions. Stomped the Panthers. So a classic NFC rivalry in the NFC Championship. 49ers, Cowboys, and the Bengals and the Chiefs. A rematch of the AFC title game from a couple of years ago. How about that? All right. So here it is. Let's see who goes to the Super Bowl. We'll check out the Pro Bowl roster and see if any of our Saints made it. My guess is maybe Marshawn Lattimore might have made the Pro Bowl team, but I don't know. All right, so it's the Cowboys and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Wow. They beat the Bengals by 3 touchdowns, and the Cowboys beat the 49ers by 2 points. They finally got their revenge. Wow, good for them. Well, let's take a look at the Pro Bowl roster, and let's see who made it from our team, if anybody did. No linebackers. About DBs. No sign of Lattimore. Guess he didn't make it. Yep. Nobody from the Saints made the Pro Bowl this year. All right. We'll check out yearly awards next week when we get ready for Super Bowl week. Yearly awards. Let's see here. Josh Allen wins the MVP, and Zach Taylor is Coach of the Year. NFC. Offensive Player of the Year is Dak. All right. Shout out to Dak. No Saints in consideration, of course. Defensive Player of the Year. Nobody. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Nobody. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Nope. Best QB. Derek Carr finished 8th. Not bad. Best running back. Nobody. Best wide receiver. Any love for Olave or Johnson? Nope. No love for them. What about Ramczyk? Nope. Best defensive lineman? Nope. Best linebacker? What about Davis? Did he make it in here? Nope. Best DB? So Marshawn Lattimore finished 4th, but he didn't make the Pro Bowl roster. Okay. Oh, and we had Paulson. So Paulson Adebo. Oh, okay. I think he actually did make the Pro Bowl roster, so we actually did have somebody make it. All right. Oh, I forgot to look at kickers, but you know what? I don't think our kicker was in consideration for that. All right, so let's go ahead and simulate the Super Bowl week, and let's see who wins between the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Who wins it all? Did the Chiefs win again? The Cowboys win the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl MVP is Marquise Bell. All right, so the Cowboys finally get their 6th championship. MVP is Allen. Zach Taylor. Josh Allen was also Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year was Aaron Donald of the Rams. Puka Nacua, Rookie of the Year. Jack Campbell, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Okay. So now it's time to get into staff week. No plans to really change the coaching staff because that was only the first year, and we did end the season with some solid wins, and we ended the season on a high note with the win. So I don't think I'm going to adjust the coaching staff just yet. We're going to give Allen and his staff probably 1 to 2 more years, depending on what happens this next season, And then again, it's also based on what we can do, because we're also, and I'm also giving them the benefit of the doubt because we're in salary cap hell. We can't spend money. So we got to think about that. So let me take a look at mock draft number 3. I want to see where we're even picking right now. So we have the 8th pick. We are projected to take Caleb Williams. So we could take Caleb Williams and completely turn things around. A little bit surprised. There's no projected quarterback to take it in the top 5. The first quarterback projected to come off the board is Drake May at number 7. Jeez, that's surprising. Well, like I said, I think it's still worth trying to bring in a quarterback. So if Caleb is there, he's worth. I think it's worth taking him. Still keeping Derek Carr around, but I don't know how much longer. First things first, let's take a look at the retirements. Because I got a feeling, yeah, I saw Kareem Jackson retire at the bottom. So let's see who else retired from us. We had a lot. Ooh. So Kareem Jackson retired, Jimmy Graham retired, Max Garcia retired, and so did Cameron Irving. So Cameron Jordan did not retire, and neither did Demario Davis. So I'm a little bit surprised. Usually he retires after the first year. Okay. So let me see if this does anything to adjust how much money we have to even spend. Okay, so we have less in the negative at minus 33 million. So that helps a tad, but not much. So let's go ahead and let everybody else get released, and we'll see how much money we have to spend at all, if any. We're not going to be able to bring back anybody because we're in the negative at $33 million. So we got to save some money here, which is going to be pretty tough. All right. So let me take a look at our roster in general in terms of positions that we need to upgrade, because there are, a few of them. Obviously, quarterback, we're looking at possibly Caleb Williams or Drake May. Jameis Winston hit the free agency market, so at the very least, we could use a backup. We still have Jamal Williams and Kamara. Our running game is still the same core of players. We do need a new fullback, but I think we're just going to have to draft one. We only have 4 receivers. So we're probably going to need. So we're going to need to look at. So we're going to need to look for help there more so in the draft. Taysom Hill, of course, is still here. We have 74, 71, 85 Eric McCoy. We don't have a right guard, so we do need a right guard. Draft or free agency. Left end. Defensive line. We need a left outside linebacker. We could use some more corner depth. Free safety, we're not that bad. Strong safety, we're not that bad. Let's go ahead and cut this random kicker, this Norton guy. We don't need 2 kickers on this team. All right. I don't think that really helps too much, but we can go ahead and try to see what we can do. Let's actually just look at this and see what we even have any money to do, if we have any. We got none. We're at minus 32 million. All right. So this is the first time I'm going to have to do this, but I just have to do it. So we are going to skip free agency entirely this off season, because we can't do anything. We're in the negative. We can't sign anybody new. We're just going to have to draft in the first year. We're basically the Cowboys. So much, money that just isn't there. So let me actually just let me just check and see if, maybe we do have more to spend. We don't. We don't have any money. We can't do anything. We can't come out of this negative. So that stinks. Really does. So pro day results. I imagine mock draft 5 is going to look like it did with Caleb being the guy that we're projected to take. So I'm not expecting any changes there. All right. Let's go ahead and skip to the final stage of free agency, and let's go ahead and get ready for the draft. Because even though we're in the negative, I know we can act. I know we can get. I know we still sign our draft picks. I don't know how many picks we have. I don't know if we have a lot of them. So let's go ahead and take a look at mock draft 5. Are we still projected to do the same thing? So Drake May is now projected to go to the Vikings, so he may be out of the question for us. But Caleb might not be, unless the Cardinals are going to take him. But they still have Kyler Murray. Dolphins have Tua. Giants, I guess, still want to give Daniel Jones a shot. Okay, and Jared Verse is projected to be the #1 pick. So that's pretty interesting for Washington to go with him. So let's go ahead and go to the draft. That's what we have to do. We have to go and just focus on the draft for the only part of this offseason. We can't do free agency because we have no money. We have negative money. Can't do anything. Hopefully we get some relief next offseason, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, so let's start the NFL draft. Let's do it. At the 7th pick.
The Commanders are on the clock.
All right, is Caleb Williams still here? Okay, well, they took Chop Robinson. So does that mean yes? Caleb Williams is still here, but so is Marvin Harrison Jr. But you know what? I feel like I just got to go with Caleb because he could save this franchise. And Derek Carr may not be the answer. At the very least, we're bringing in Caleb Williams to be that true challenger for Derek Carr as far as veteran quarterbacks. So we're doing it. Caleb Williams, welcome to the New Orleans Saints. Okay, so let me actually take a look at our, can I just view our roster really quick? Because I want to see what position we absolutely have to draft to fill a need of a position that we don't have any players at. So we don't have a fullback, but we're going to wait till later for that. What about left tackle? Okay, left guard. Oh, right guard, I think is a position we need. Okay, so are there any offensive linemen that are rated at least decently here? Because I don't know. I don't know that. It's getting kind of hot in here. I may have to turn the fan on. Not really. There's some receivers that are rated pretty good. Okay, so you know what? We're going to go with BPA. Let's go with Johnny Wilson out of Florida State. He's a scheme fit guy, and we could use another weapon at receiver. It might not be a bad idea to go with him. Johnny Wilson. Not really too familiar with him, but it looks like he played at Florida State. I'm sure he's a real player, so I'll look him up in a little bit. And we don't have a 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick.
Saints are now on the clock.
So what pick is this? Are we in the 5th round already? I guess we are. So we don't even have a lot of picks this year. We're in the 5th round already. Okay, so at this point, I feel like that we just have to go with a right guard because we don't have one on the roster. But these guys are okay. But these guys are going to be reaches. Okay, well, I'm going to go with Marcellus Dial out of South Carolina just to have. We do need some corner help, so we're going to go with him because I don't want to reach too far for just an offensive lineman just because we need it. And if we need to adjust a guy's position, we can do that if we need to. But I don't want to do that, but if we have to, I will.
New Orleans Saints.
All right, so now we're in the 6th round. I think we have 2 picks in this round, so that's okay. But I feel like, but don't we also, okay, I think we just have to go, we're reaching for this. But we're going to go with Sal Wormley at right guard because we need a right guard. We don't have one. We need to draft one. I need to address some needs right here. And I don't even know if Sal's a real player. He may not be. I would not be surprised. And his rating is probably not that good either if he's this lowly rated. All right, so let me take a look at our roster really quick because I know right guard is a position we didn't have any of. But what about other positions? What about, I think defensive linemen were okay. But I think linebacker, we don't have a left outside linebacker. Yeah, we don't have a single one on the roster. And, yeah. Safety, we're fine. We could always move one of those safeties to corner if we feel like we're lacking depth. So I think left outside linebacker is a position we need to look at. So with this one, we may not have to reach so much. I guess I could have gone for the left outside linebacker first before the right guard. But, I don't know. Let's see. Are there any linebackers that are even rated decently here? Or am I just chasing a ghost? I only have 32 seconds to make a decision. All right, well, this left outside linebacker, Tyron Hopper out of Missouri, is the highest rated left outside linebacker on the board. So we're going to go with him because we don't have one. We need one. Drafting necessity at this point. Because we can't do anything in free agency, so we had to do it this way. And we have no picks left. So that was our last pick. We didn't even have a 7th round selection. So the first year, can't do anything in the offseason because we don't have any money. We can't do much in the draft because we didn't have a 3rd round pick or a 4th round pick. We did have a couple of 6th round picks and a 5th rounder, but we didn't even have a 7th round pick. And I didn't get a fullback, so we're just going to have to move maybe a running back or a tight end to that position. So let's check out the draft recap and see what we're looking like. All right, well, Caleb Williams, number 1 pick, 8th overall. 2nd round, we took Johnny Wilson, strictly off of he was the best player available. Marcellus Dial, corner, another BPA situation. With Wormley, I reached, but in the 6th round, we needed a right guard. Tyron Hopper, left outside linebacker out of Missouri, was our other 6th round selection. So we literally only drafted 5 players in this draft. First draft, not very good, mostly because we didn't have a lot of picks. But I think we found some good offensive weapons with Johnny Wilson, and also with of course, Caleb as the future of our team. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm at the wrong thing. I need to go to adjust the roster, not look at the roster. Okay, so let's assess the roster here and see what we can do, because we can't afford to sign anybody. So we can't do that. All right. So Caleb, he wears number 18 with the Bears. So let me see if I can maybe give him his number 18, kind of like with Chicago, but I don't know. He's wearing number 5 right now. Yep, we can. Caleb Williams, new franchise quarterback for the Saints. I drafted him in the Raiders franchise. He got us to a Super Bowl. Now, Derek Carr's not that far off, and Williams also is not a scheme fit guy. So, I don't have a problem keeping Derek Carr as a backup for next season. Okay, so what can we do about this fullback situation? Can Hardy be moved to a fullback, or do we have to just move a tight end over there? Let me see if we can just make him a fullback so we have a fullback, but I don't know. I don't know what this will make his rating. He's not built like a fullback. He's a small guy, so. 64, not that bad, but not that good either. So Johnny Wilson. Let me take a look at Johnny Wilson. Let me see. Johnny Wilson. Okay, so this is a real player. He did play at Florida State, and he wore number 14, but I don't think we have 14 available. I don't think we do. Let's go to maybe linebackers. And it's Boykin. Let's change his number. No idea who this is, so we're just going to give him a random number. Let's give him, like, I don't know, a random number in the 30s or something. Let's give him 22. I think that's okay. All right, so we're going to give him that number. We're going to give Wilson his college number. And Wilson is now our 3rd best receiver, so that's kind of what I was hoping for, that he would be able to come in and kind of just fill the void for, our 3rd best receiving option, which I think will make this offense better for obvious reasons. So hopefully Johnny can bring a little bit of extra to the receiving core. We already have, Olave, and we have Thomas. Wilson just that young blood to help out with the receiving core. We still have A.T. Perry, and we still have Brandon Smith as well. Tight ends. Gonna have to probably just keep things the way they are. 2 left guards. We only have 1 center. We have 1 right guard. Let me see if Sal Wormley is even a real player. So he's a 6'3" overall to start out with. That's not, the best thing, but so Sal is a real player. Oh, number 77. Okay, all right, and he's already got his number, so we don't have to worry about that. Cameron Jordan, Granderson. We got Saunders, Brees. Let's see. I don't know about Tyrone Hopper, excuse me. So he's a real player. Number 8 for Missouri. Okay, I don't know if we have number 8 available, though. Tyler Coyle. He used to play with Cowboys, I think. And I think he used to wear like number 31 or something like that. I don't know if I can give him that number, but maybe. Or just give him a random number in the 30s. Let's give him number 35. Be random as hell. So Hopper, we're going to give him his college number. I mean, he's, 65 overall starting out with is not bad, but it's not great. Obviously, I'd like better, but I mean, at this point, I can't really be, too nitpicky because we're just trying to figure out a way to piece a roster together with no money. That's what we're trying to do here in New Orleans for the first year. All right. So Hopper, new left outside linebacker of the future. I'm going to move one of the right outside guys over there. So I'm going to move, I think, Monty Rice over to left outside linebacker. I don't know if this will make him automatically better than Hopper, but let's see. I think it probably will. I may just go ahead and pencil him in as the starter instead, just based on overall. Yeah, Rice is better than Hopper, but not much better. Our linebacking core could obviously still use some work, but I mean, I'm not going to be too critical of it. So let me take a look at Marcellus Dial. He's a real player, South Carolina, number 24. All right, let's see if I can give him his college number. I just like doing this as part of rebuilds too, giving guys their college numbers back, making them feel, just feels right. Feels good. Is anybody wearing 24? I feel like maybe there's at least one player that is, but I could be wrong. What about a linebacker? Okay, so I don't think anybody's wearing 24, so I think I'm going to be able to give it the number 24. Yep. All right. Hopefully Dial can develop and be a decent corner to help us out with depth. Right now he's the fourth guy. We have a guy in the 70s, Alontae Taylor, and we have a Debo, 83, and we have, of course, a 92, Marshawn Lattimore. So pretty solid there. Groupie and Headley are a kicker and punter. So this is what we're going with. Alrighty then. Well, this is the way the roster is looking for year two. It's definitely nothing spectacular. I mean, look at this. We're 77, 79, and 79. I mean, second year we don't have a very good roster, but that's because we got no money. We got to let the money trickle away and hope we get some money to spend this next season. All right, well, that's going to do it for part one of the New Orleans Saints rebuild. Not a lot of money to spend, and didn't really have that great of a first season for obvious reasons. Hopefully, year two will be better with Caleb Williams as our new starting quarterback. Hopefully, things will get a little bit better, but we will see. Thank you guys for checking out part one, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.